Hey guys, Will Prowse. So today I want to talk about some of my financial goals and priorities because I think they're very different than most people that watch this channel, going by the comments section, especially last night when I posted that other video. And so I want people to understand that I was disabled for a long time with my nerve disease, and I know what it's like to go from working and having a perfect, great life with lots of friends and everything going well to having to live out of a van out of necessity and being isolated because I can't walk and not being able to work because I can't. And so it's really changed some of my priorities financially. I think some of you guys might learn something from it. So first point I want to make is that everything in my life is disposable and things lose value quickly, and some things hold value and you need to sell them before they lose their value because the next model came out. So what I like to think of with this RV is that I'm going to use it for 5 to 10 years and then I will get rid of it. I know that these are cheaply made vehicles, all right? I understand that. I understand that no matter how well you take care of them, they start to fall apart, and I like to get rid of them before they do that. I also understand that buying a new RV is a horrible idea, and that if you buy like a $70,000 RV and you wait 5 years or so, you're going to lose $20,000. Think about that. That's crazy. So with this RV, this was about a $70,000 RV when it was new. I bought it for $12,000. All right, I know very well that it's going to fall apart, and I know very well that I can get it another like 8 or 9 grand for it in like 5 to 10 years. So what I think of this RV is it's disposable. I'm going to move all this stuff into the next RV or into a house or whatever that I'm going to buy with cash. I like to buy these vehicles with cash too, and when they hold their value, I can sell it and then use that money to buy the next vehicle. This is my 17th vehicle, and I've never financed anything. I've always used cash to buy all of my vehicles. I have never ever financed anything because I love cash, and I also understand that having this RV for 5 years and paying a certain amount of money and then selling it for around the same amount that I bought it for is really smart because it makes it so that living in this is free to me. The only thing I have to pay for is insurance and gas and stuff like that, and I have full coverage now, so it's really nice because just peace of mind. If some uninsured motorist slams into my RV, it will be replaced. So that is very good. I like that peace of mind, and I pay more for security. And also thinking of my stuff as disposable makes me feel good inside because I know that with, another $10,000 or $15,000, I can just replace my whole life, and then I can sell all of my other stuff or whatever if I need to, if everything goes to crap. But when it comes to other things like tech gadgets, I like to buy the highest quality things because I know that before the next model comes out, I can sell it for a good amount of money before it depreciates. I am all about that, and one of my friends that's probably watching right now taught me this. All right, he buys the nicest stuff, and then 5 or 10 years later, he sells it for almost the same amount that he bought it for because he buys the best. And I love that, man, because when you do that, it's like you had it for free. Because if you get your money back later on, it's like you didn't even spend the money and you got to use the best gear for free. I love that. Next point I want to make is something I read from an investment strategy book. It had nothing to do with investing, but what he said is that instead of being frugal, focus on making more money. And I know a lot of people will spend hours looking at coupon sites and trying to find the best deal and being very, very frugal, but in my opinion, and after reading that book and testing this method out, I have noticed that if instead of trying to nitpick and save every penny, if I tried to make another 1 or 2 grand a month, I come out ahead instead. And I think a lot of people try to nitpick and be frugal when they should actually focus on making more money. I think they're simply in a deficit and they need to focus on making more. So yeah, but how much money am I making right now? I'm pretty proud to say that I hit $7,000 passive income last month, and I'm starting to make more because I've been finding better products to sell. That's the thing too, is a lot of people get focused about making money, but what I do is I know that if I have the best or I give the best advice, the money is going to flow in like crazy. And right now with my new internet service and with the solar book and stuff and like being able to test so many products this last year, I'm giving people the best advice possible, and they're saving money by listening to me. Like with the flexible solar panel thing, just watching that video saves you a couple $100 like that. Like that is so great, and I love doing that for people, and I know that the money will come instantly if I have that kind of material available to people. You have good content. You can actually help people. There is so much stuff on the internet that is just for trying to make money, but it brings no value. and it's hard to understand, and it's like, no, you need to help people in the best way possible. You have to be the best. And now let's talk about my financial goals. So of course I want to have more capital for some of my investment strategies in the future. From some of my books I've read and friends that I have, I know that I do not want to use too much credit unless it's a very strategic way, and I like to have cash. And so for me right now, I want to get about $100,000 or $200,000, and I feel like that will be enough for me to feel secure. I also understand, after multiple surgeries and living on the streets, being disabled, that a unforeseen thing can happen anytime, all right? Like literally anytime. I've had so many emergency surgeries. I've been under 6 different times, and each one was life-changing, horrible, bad. Like I was out for weeks after that. So I understand how quickly things can change. And so what my strategy is now is I want to have enough capital so if I break my leg, I am completely and totally paid for and fine. And I do not have health insurance right now because it costs $600 to $800 a month for me with how much money I make. And so I think that putting that money towards healthy food is more advantageous. But yeah, that's why my priorities are different, is because I've had health hardships. I think a lot of people my age and sometimes older who have never had a health problem, they don't really need money. And if I had no health problems, which I still have some health problems, I still have some, remnant symptoms of my nerve disease. I still have connective tissue pain and stuff. So for me, it's very, very important. But if I was healthy, I don't need money really. I mean, I don't care. There's nothing I want to buy. All right, for me personally, it's all about health, because no matter how much money I make, even that $7,000 a month, I'm really stoked about, but it's only for security. I'm still buying my shirts for $1 at Goodwill. There's nothing that I really want to buy material-wise except for stuff that helps me work. I mean, I love having this desk, and I probably shouldn't have been so cheap and frugal with my laptop. I was trying to do the whole minimal thing, and it just didn't work. Some of you guys can make it work, and if you have a job and you live in an area where it does work, I'm all for that. I'm so happy for you. That's great. But for me and my health problems and my goals in life and how I make money, I do require buying stuff. So now I do it in a strategic manner. I buy the best things and then I sell them and all this stuff that I just talked about earlier. So yeah, health is my #1 priority, but this also leads me to why I'm still living in an RV. And I like RVs for now, and I've always talked in my last videos about how living in a van is unhealthy long term and how I do want to get a house eventually, but I have watched a lot of videos and read lots of articles and have lots of friends in real estate and have noticed that overall with real estate, adjusted for inflation, you make 2 to 3% nationally. All right, unless you're in a hyperinflated zone such as the Bay Area right now, you can make way more money, but that's not reasonable. And if you can ride a wave and gamble on the appreciation of an area, then by all means do it. I mean, I totally understand why people flip houses and how much money they make in these instances in California. Absolutely. But for me, buying a house for me, not to make money, not to be seen as an investment, but for me to have a home, to be safe and feel good in, I am not going to buy one around here, and I'm going to buy one with cash. My big goal in the next 10 years is to buy a house with cash. I really, really want to do that. And I know that I could do it in the other states, especially for how much money I make. I think in 3 years' time of saving all my income with book royalties, I could very well buy one with cash. And I think that houses are a great idea if you buy them with cash. I understand that people use credit to leverage their position so that they have an asset that they can make money off of, and then they have a passive income, but I don't see that much money being made from renting out and going through property management and then paying all the taxes. I mean, you might get like $200 to $1,000 a month from each property, but for me right now, making $7,000 off of publishing books years ago, I like that more, and it's less liability to me. So I like to make money in a passive way that has very low liability, and when I do buy large assets, I want them to have their value, and I do not want to pay interest to a bank. I do not want to pay HOA fees, the closing fees for the realtors and the brokers, and like, it is ridiculous. It is a joke to buy a house in this country. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get cash. I'm going to go through one of my broker friends, and they're going to cut the fees down to almost nothing because they're very close friends. And then I'm going to do it that way because I am not going to spend all of that money. Okay, here's a fun example. I just have to mention this. In Marina, California, there was a house for $400,000. It's kind of ghetto, and it was next to my friend's house, and we're like, we should calculate what the cost is after 30 years. It came out to over $700,000 for a $400,000 house in the ghetto. All right, I would never live here, and this thing costs almost a freaking $1 million. And I'm like, I don't understand this right now. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to set myself up in a payment system for a mortgage and get ripped off like this. I don't think so. What I'd rather do is save up money, have it in other just investment portfolios like ETFs or something, and then save up enough cash and then get the house directly. And you can save a lot more. Okay, this is another quote that I've got from a friend, and she's married to a doctor, and she's very, very smart, but she hasn't really worked. She's set up all of these different income streams on the internet, and she told me one time, she said it's cheaper to be rich than it is to be poor. And she said having that initial cash gets you so much more power in the long term, and you can make money off of that. And I know that's very common, easy to understand advice, but I love how she worded it, that it's cheaper to be rich than it is to be poor. I love that. That's amazing. Also, how did I get into the publications game? So first I started a website to help people with heel pain, right? And it failed. Nobody listened to me. Nobody cared. And so what happened is I made an ebook version, and I put a price on it because I read in one of my marketing books the perceived value of things and how it can change. And so I was like, all right, I'll start charging people for it. And then people started loving it. And I was like, what? You guys didn't listen to me when it was free, but when I charge money for it, everybody loves me and listens to me like crazy. So then I quadrupled the price, and then I started getting on more platforms. I started having more versions, and people loved it because it was good advice and I knew how to help people. And that's another thing, is that no matter how good your marketing strategy is, if your product sucks, you're not going to be going anywhere. And that is so easy to understand, but I think a lot of people at higher level corporate levels, they forget about the engineering of the product and the design of the product, and they focus only on marketing. At least that's what Elon Musk and quite a few other CEOs that I follow have said. So I think there's something to be learned about that, actually, making a perfect product and then focusing on perfect marketing. You have to make every part of it. If there's a bottleneck in any system, you're going to have problems, whether it's solar system or whether I'm developing a new product. You have to make sure that the flow, the initial impression, and then by the time they purchase it, and then buyer's remorse afterwards, you need to make sure that whole thing is good, and that even if you sell a bunch of products, that they're not going to hate you and want to kill you after they buy it. They want to feel like they got their money's worth. And now let's talk about traveling, because everyone loves to associate van and RV living with traveling, and I like to travel like all good humans do, right? I mean, everyone always says that, I want to just travel the world, and it's fun to travel, and it's a great way to educate yourself on the economies globally. Like when you go to other places and you see a distribution of resources that's different than your own country, you can also see how cultures changed. Like when you think about how Russia developed historically, you understand why they have the priorities they do today. It's not good or bad, but you see how they developed, and it tells you why they are the way they are. And I love that. There's so much to be learned from traveling, but I think of traveling as an educational experience or a way to make money. Okay. For me, I'm not going to be trying to find myself by floating across the United States doing nothing. If I go across the United States with a specific goal and I want to learn, or I want to make money or educate others or something like that, of course I'm going to do it. And I like to travel when I have a goal. But I do not like to do what some van life people do, is where you just float around city to city. And I've done that because I've been stuck trying to find places to live because, laws change or something like that. And it was idiotic, and I'm never going to do that again. So what do I do with this RV? So this RV I can throw into storage, $150 a month, and then I can fly out of here and I can go anywhere. I haven't done that yet, but I plan to in October. I want to go back to Japan, and I want to do some really cool filming, and I think I could create some really good content. I might have to buy a new camera though to do that. But anyways, yes, when I travel, I know a lot of people associate the RV and van life with it, but you don't have to. You can easily buy an RV, live in it, and then stick it in storage when you want to travel. And when you travel without an RV, it's less risk. This is a big one, all right? When you have an RV, if this thing breaks down and it needs a big overhaul or something big, it's going to cost a lot of money to fix it. I don't like spending money, and I would much rather have my car, which costs $1,000, my Toyota Echo that gets 50 miles to the gallon. I can blast right through. If it breaks down, I'll be totally fine, and I can fly back home. All right, I love having things that I can just jump off of, jump ship, and then leave. Like, my car is disposable in every sense of the word. Every part of that car except for the stereo. Like, if I break down tomorrow, I'm going to rip that stereo out and take the papers out, and that's it. Okay, I mean, I might sell it to the California buyback program with my tow package or something, but I do not think seriously of it because I can buy a car tomorrow in the Bay Area for nothing. Like, it's so easy for me because I know how to work on cars. With that car, you know, the door lock mechanism wasn't working, so I ripped the door apart because I've done it multiple times with different stereos, and I've had to put in linear actuators to make power doors. I looked inside, I fixed it, I put it back together again. Boom, I've got a car for $1,000 when it should have been $3,000. So I know how to do that, and I love it, and I love doing that because my dad, and like, he's a mechanic, and he, I just love doing that. Like, with my first car, it was $500, this Saab. And it was a nice Saab. I mean, leather heated seats. It was a great vehicle. I love that thing. It was my first car. And we were buying it for $500 because the guy had an ignition wire that was shorting out, and he couldn't for the life of him figure it out. So my dad ripped up the carpet, found the wire, bypassed the wire, and then he started it within 5 minutes. This guy's been working on this car for months, and so we get this car for dirt cheap. But when that thing broke down, I got another car, and I sold it for the same amount, and then I just get another one. And I love jumping around like that. I love finding the path of least resistance. With just a little bit of education and a little bit of YouTube videos on how to work with a vehicle, you can get away with some crazy deals. And so yeah, just having this mentality of being able to buy and sell things when it's advantageous, and when it's smart to do so depending on the market and what kind of product it is so fun. You know, like buying cars and selling them and getting the same value and mixing and matching and modifying it. I love doing that. It's fun. Also, I do understand that a lot of my ideas are not realistic for some of you guys that don't know how to make a passive income. I know for me, I had to do it out of necessity because I couldn't walk, and I thought, okay, I wanted to be a doctor at first, then I thought physical therapist would be more fun because I could help people with similar problems, and then I disregarded all of it because I couldn't do it anymore because of my nerve disease. So I started doing drafting, and I started doing engineering and mathematics and science. And then I realized that I don't want to be doing drafting and all the other science. You don't make that much money, and I think that engineers are overworked and they don't get any royalties. And I was like, I don't like that. I kind of want to make money. And I know a lot of people want to pursue their passions, but for me personally, after having health problems, I want to make money in the best way possible. And then when I pursue my passions, it will be with my money and not to make money. I won't be desperate for it because I've seen too many people suffer because they're trying to do what they love and the money does not follow. And if you look at every product that I've ever introduced to the market book-wise, it's because I had a horrible problem, I fixed it, and now I'm going to help others. It's not because I was floating around and I thought, oh, I could make a ton of money off of this. It's because it was necessary and I saw a need for it and I did it. And I had due diligence and I got in the market early. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, but I need you guys to understand that if I make a point about something and you guys don't know where I'm coming from, I know that it will be confusing. And if you want to prove me wrong in the comment section, go ahead. There were some great comments in the last video. I absolutely loved all of the feedback that you guys gave me. I understand that different position warrants different priorities. So I get it. You know, I had a position with nerve disease, so that's why I do what I do. You guys may be completely different. So let me know if you guys found this useful or if you want to see more. I'm sure I could expand on other topics. And money is really fun. You know, it's like a video game. And I love strategy games. And like making money is kind of like a strategy game. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions below and I'll talk to you later. Bye.